2011 Kia Sorrento. I got to replace the radiator, the core support, that big thing over there. So it's going to be quite a lengthy job, I'd imagine. Somewhat. I have to remove the radiator because it's dented up really bad. The AC is not working, so I got to repair that. And to do all that and get everything properly fitted, because the radiator support is compromised at the bottom. So if you look at the bottom down there on a new one, it's got a split down the middle, and it's not structurally sound. So I'm going to have to replace that whole radiator core support. And to do that, of course, we're going to have to remove the bumper. This came from the auction. So every time I get a car from Matt, I mean, it's always something interesting. It's always. So never have to do the regular norm, which is very appreciative. Thank you. So, you know, there's rarely that you already get vehicles that need to be serviced with something extravagant, different, you know. But I'm not a body guy by any stretch of the imagination. I don't do body work, but meaning that if there was damage, I'm not going to sit there and fill in body type discrepancies. I'll do some general replacements when it comes to body, but I am not doing body work. Trust me, you should see my body work. But anyway, well, I digress. We're going to go ahead and start getting this off. The bumper, the light was already out. I have a new light that's going on the passenger side. So there, I'll just go over some basic generic stuff. There's a lot of little bolts and stuff. It's going to be very tedious, but once we get the main stuff off, like the shell of the bumper, the headlights assembly, all that's pretty basic. So you can see here, there's some little tabs in here where the headlight assembly would, I think, no, the bumper should rest inside of there. That's where that will go. Then you have little points on the upper radiator support where the headlight assembly would go. I mean, everything is pretty much self-explanatory. The only hidden fasteners I would see is right at the end of the bumper corner. Here, you can see that. There's going to be like a fastener that's supposed to be holding that into place, but that's missing. There was a lot of screws and bolts and stuff in the back, in a plastic bag with old food that I had to get out. So, but first we're going to remove the bumper cover and expose all the necessary components I need to remove, such as the radiator core support. And I guess I'll go over what I've taken off after the fact. Maybe there's some hidden clues or something I might be able to give you. But again, most of the stuff is just superficial. You'll see like those openings at the top of the bumper cover, right there where the upper radiator support is. You'll see like those quick connect, like Christmas trees or something will go in there for the body panels. You just remove all those. See everything that like needs to come off. I mean, I did not see that right there. Hopefully the bumper cover will cover that up. Let's see what happens. We'll see. I don't know. We'll definitely have to consider replacing this. Let's see here. So everything was pretty much held in with the really strong zip tie. This is why I'm replacing the condenser. The AC is not working, and we can actually see that the core support is compromised. Oh wow, the radiator is like busted to high hell right here. There's our oil cooler lines, and I'll simply just have to remove the upper hose here. I can remove the radiator once I get some of the other lines here. Once I get the upper hose removed, and I can just pretty much lean it back and have some more working area. But you know, there's main reason why majority of the reason why we're replacing this. I mean, it was obviously an accident, and some things were broken. There's supposed to be some ears on here also. Let's see here. Something's supposed to hold that radiator in place. I'll see when I get that back in there. There's a bunch of other components that I'm gonna have to puzzle together. Like, I mean, it's an ear here on the radiator, and obviously there's some bolt holes. So we'll see all that on a new radiator. And again, there was a lot of stuff in the back that needs to come off. But as far as removing this core support, there's like a screw that go here at the fender. Screw here. Here's the oil cooler line. I think I saw a kink that was really bad in there. Yeah, I'm gonna have to knock that out. I can squeeze this because this is just pinched. I can get that to free up. If I can bend whatever to get that back in place, then I will. Yeah, I think I can make that work. Pull this off and just open it up. This will work out just fine. This metal, I can manipulate it. So this is for the power steering. This is what that's for. We're gonna disconnect the horn. I can leave that in there. We'll take this out. Disconnect this. Here's a ground wire. I can leave that in. Uh-oh, what happened? Oh, my plug came out. All right. The whole light assembly, these were 2 screws that I was referring to. So we're gonna have to consider replacing this light here. Let's see if there's anything on the bottom. So just pull right on out from what it looks like. Am I missing something? Okay, yeah, there's a screw in the back that has to come out, and then the light assembly should just come right on out. There's a lot of stuff missing, so the harness is laying back here. Okay, so I think we're in decent shape. All right, let's get to working. Remove the air duct here for the intake. Move the latch mechanism. Side, screw through fasten. This is it. Goes in the pile. What is this? I don't know what goes here. I'm gonna pull it. Oh my gosh! Screw it up, life, man. I'm gonna pull this out. I don't know what will go there. Whatever it is, it looks like it's pink. So I got the ground wire removed. The harness, horn, you can see that those are taken off. I think we should work on getting the radiator out. I'm gonna work on removing these refrigerant lines. I do have them already discharged. There was such a massive hole in there that it got no freon in there anyway. I got the lines. So I got the lower radiator hose removed, and the lines that go to the oil cooler, should be for the transmission. Those are disconnected down at the bottom, and I simply should be able to pull the radiator out that way and get enough clearance to clear this core support with the refrigerant lines. We got a whole lot of room now to work with as far as getting the, oh god, that light is horrible. As far as getting the remainder of the core support out, I'm going to get the residue or the oil that dripped from these lines here off the transmission pan cover there. Now, this will give you a good visual of how things look. I mean, you got plenty of room to do a lot of stuff now. And if I don't even know, if you was to pull a motor out of here, you probably could have done it without pulling the front end off. I don't know. I've never done a motor on this thing. This is actually my first time pulling this core support out, but it looks pretty much self-explanatory. Once I get more components off, then I'll address this cooler line, this pinch. And all I gotta do is pretty much compress the sides here to expand it out, and they'll give it better flow. I might be able to just take one of the hoses off, lay it on a. I'll figure something out. I don't think a lot of thought need to be going into that. Let's take a look at some of these things. What's up with this oil here? Look like oil. So it's dripped from up there and got down on and collected. Those O-rings look pretty good on the liquid and suction side of the AC. Here we got the thermostat housing. Of course, got the, I'm not sure if it's the bank 1 or bank 2. But we got one of those banks for the exhaust manifold. We can see there's the alternator. And I'm pretty sure if you had to remove the alternator, you likely will have to pull the radiator out. So this is that. There's the compressor. Got really good access to the transmission pan. But anyway, carrying on. Let's give you a good overview of how things looking. We're gonna pull these retainers out for the wiring harness and anything else that I see in the back. I mean, it's pretty much self-explanatory. There's a impact sensor here sitting in the back. Where's that joker at? Yeah, it was right there. There we go. So I got that disconnected. I don't know if I can see it. Hang on, I'm gonna have to pull it out, pull the whole thing out, but it sits right behind here. Impact sensor. Oh shit, I'm falling. There's another horn. So I'm gonna work on getting everything off of this side, and then we'll get this whole radiator core support out of here. Same ones on the other side. There are a few things missing. Is the bumper reinforcement that I don't have yet, but that's on its way. So there's another bracket I would have had to take off. Oh, you know what? I just saw that. Gosh, I hope that's not. Look at the bumper reinforcement here. It looks bent up. Gosh darn it. Guess I'll be doing some knocking. I see why. So I didn't see that. I didn't know it had a type of structural damage. Well, I guess we're gonna see what we can get knocked out. Old radiator, everything out here laid out. There's the new condenser. There's a new radiator. I'm simply going to transfer these bypass lines for the liquid and the suction side for the AC system. Got some 10mm bolts here. Pull those out, transfer to the other unit. Take the fan assembly out on the radiator. Take that one 10mm fastener out, lift the whole assembly up. And just simply transfer everything to the other unit. Let's see here. Installed. Despite it being cracked down here, it still turns without getting pinched up or hitting anything, so it'll work out just fine. So we don't have to really buy that, and plus it's just cosmetic, just superficial. So this fan shroud will work just fine. I missed one fastener here, so you take this one off, and then there's another 10mm right here that you got to pull off, and then just transfer the hoses. The new condenser came with some studs, which worked out. Let me see if I can get this flipped around. So once you put the condenser in there, they just slide into place with these tabs. They're not held in by any type of fastener or anything. And I put the bypass for the refrigerant and suction line here, and it was a little bent up, but it's fitting like it's supposed to. So I think now I can go ahead and work on getting the radiator back in. I think I got everything lined up. I didn't mention what I did to get some of these bolt holes lined back up. I took a hammer, knocked the flange in the back flat as I could, and there was a bulging spot here on the frame. I got that knocked in, and I took my bottle jack and an extension there for my jack and just pushed up against one of the points here, and I tried to get that to spread out, but it seemed like it want to bend in a little bit, but we'll see how it works out. Hopefully my bumper reinforcement comes today and I can get that in there and get that held in, but I'm going to work on getting the main stuff in. So I'm going to go ahead and get the radiator support, get that ground wire hooked up too. I don't want to forget my grounds. And I'm slowly making progress here. So we got the radiator core support in there, radiators in there. Everything seemed to be lined up okay. It's not perfect. It's pretty tight on this side here, but then the other side is pretty, got a nice gap over there, you know, like this right here. So then the damage did when there was impact. You know, we saw the damage right at the core support, and then it kind of brought the frame rail like in where the bumper support will line up, and you can kind of see that it's off. So right here, it's not with it like an impression of the square. You know, it needs to be over to the right some more, or sitting in the car to the left. But other than that, I mean, the core support went in fine, you know, with the exception of like some little air gaps. But again, I'm not a body guy, not at all a perfectionist, so you know, this is not my forte. We can deal with mechanical issues. I'm not sure if it's supposed to be slightly bent like that. I think that probably happened with shipment, but it's fine though. I'm not gonna break my neck over it. It fits. But other than that, the radiator's in there. All the lines are buttoned up. So I got the light on here. These are tight. Let me see if I'm missing anything. So just to, oh shoot, I'm about to bust my ass. So we got the horns, we got our ground wires, so we shouldn't forget that. Cooler line, I got that unbent in the front, that little crimp. I just took some vice grips and clasped the outsides where it pinched at, open it right up. So all we gotta do is put some Freon in it and get the system operating. I'm gonna make sure the hood closes fine. There was some discrepancies with this device, this core support. The threads for the inside of one of the inserts wasn't threaded, so I had to use 2 bolts for that, and I wasn't gonna waste my time trying to thread it. And then it's a plastic housing. I don't want to mess up anything. I'm just gonna leave it alone. It works fine with 2 fasteners in there. Found the supports for the upper radiator in the car. All I gotta do is get some Freon in here, get coolant in it, and make sure it runs fine. I think I'm gonna let them know we need to order another headlight assembly because the eyelets for the retainers for the light assembly is broken off. If it does hold, I'll let him make that decision. But I'm pretty sure he's going to want to do that. But either way, I mean, it's going to have to go to a body guy, and they need to pull that frame out a little bit. But it's not as bad as I've seen some of them. I mean, it's definitely progress here. So I'm going to do my thing as far as getting the coolant in here, get the AC working, and we'll be back. After I getting everything done, come to find out the fan blade is actually broken, and it's causing it to flare out because of the inertia or the G-force. Where is it at? There was an area in there that was had a gap in it. There you go, right there. I didn't see that. So when you cut the fan on, it wants to make this loud noise. So we're gonna have to get a new fan. Damn it. Well, I mean that's mechanic work. So exhausted hysteria. So I'm getting hysterical. I'm gonna let her know we got to get a fan. I mean, luckily I didn't put everything back on before I started testing everything. Started to get the AC working, and this is what happened. So no big deal. We'll just have to get a fan, and the grocery list gets deeper. But other than that, show how to remove the radiator core support, remove the radiator on this vehicle. You saw some other components, what it looks like with the bumper cover off. So I mean, this is not that bad at all. I mean, this unfortunately, this car was in a collision, and unfortunately, like when they come from the auction, they always got an interesting story. So, but we learned a little bit today. We put our eyeballs on some stuff, and we have it as a source of viable information. Go hit that link, subscribe to the channel, stay informed, have the real insurance. It might work. See you next one.